I've often thought about what would the perfect player look like.
It might play the game in a completely different way from the way that we play it.
As a chess player, you want to know more about chess, you want to get deeper, and there is so much still to learn.
AlphaZero played a match against Stockfish, which was the strongest computer that we all knew, and it won the match.
And all of a sudden I thought, wow,
It does really work. How does it know how to do it?
I started thinking it's quite interesting, and there's just a couple of games that went bang.
And these were very exciting games, very attacking games, giving pawns away right at the early stages of the game. The other computers were thinking, well, that's too early.
AlphaZero doesn't have any rules. It learns through experience.
Really didn't think there was room for this huge attacking style, never in my wildest dreams.
There's even more depth than we thought in chess.
It's like discovering the secret notebooks of some great player from the past.
It explains AlphaZero's strategies.
How does AlphaZero think? AlphaZero blows apart what traditional engines are doing. Hello everyone, and welcome to the stream.
Today we've got hi Matthew, we've got some very exciting games lined up for you today, starting with top board, which is a match between Mickey Adams and Bogdan Lalic. And so Mickey, we all know as an extremely strong player, and he has made it to 5 out of 5. So everybody that's been thrown at him, he has beaten. Grandmaster Bogdan Lalic is a very tough opposition, and he's quite a solid player. He's on 3.5, so it's a down float for Mickey, and Bogdan has not lost a game yet. He has 2 wins and 3 draws in his matches so far. On board 2, we have, if I find the right page, we have Matthew Turner, and
White is Rock Troll.
Yes, Rock Troll. Now, Rock Troll, if anyone was watching yesterday, Rock Troll came onto the stream and he came up with this crazy move as part of his attack, which was the highly imaginative knight h8. He was white, so his knight right into the corner of the board. And he got a win last night, and then he came onto the stream and showed us how he had done it. So we're expecting an exciting game there, because Matthew Turner, Grandmaster, is always very tricky. He likes quite unusual positions. He likes to mix it up a bit, and he is now his results. He has 4 wins and a loss, and the loss was to Michael Adams. Same actually as Tristan Cox. I think he also has 4 wins with just a loss to Michael Adams. On board 3, we have another good game actually. Matthew Wadsworth against Ameet Ghasi. And you might have seen Ameet's game from yesterday against Diamonaut, which turned into a very exciting tactical battle in time trouble for both players. And we couldn't tell whether white would win, whether black would win, whether it turned into a perpetual check, what would happen. But Ameet held his nerve very well and secured the win. And Matthew Wadsworth also has been playing very good chess in this event. I'm just reminding myself of who he has been playing. I remember the game against Zoe Varney. That was looking quite close, and then he managed to trap her bishop. He's also played Tom Villiers and Peter Finn, Jem Gurner, and Tamne Chopra. So he's got 3.5, and we saw a very nice win from him yesterday. On board 4, we have Daniel
Daniel
Fernandez
Fernandez.
against Peter Finn. And Daniel, again, he likes to, he plays all sorts of different openings and likes to mix things up. So it'll be interesting to see what we get today and what openings it is. Tom O'Gorman and Harry Grieve are both quite attacking players, and so we should see a good match there on board 5. And on board 6, Gregor Toshek against Harry Evans. Board 7, we have Diamonaut, who was the other side of that game against Ameet Ghasi, and he is taking on experienced Grandmaster Mark Hebden. And again, I think this will be a thrilling match to follow on board 7. Thomas Wills is on board 8 against Tamne Chopra, and on board 9 we have Oliver Stubbs against Thomas Villiers, who is Hack in our chat. On 10, Oscar Idle against Jonathan Blackburn.
Gunslinger 222.
Yeah, Gunslinger. And then on board 11, we have Aravamundam Balaji, who is otherwise known as UK Chess Bomber, against Tashika Aurora, who is Chess Queen. We have Alex Goss on 12 against Sean Gordon, Sean the Prawn, who he had a night off yesterday because he got the bye, and so he was having a chat with us in the commentary. And I've just seen the chat. Caroline, we are going to comment on the Women's Championship tomorrow. So it's the final round, I think, tomorrow. So definitely we are going to comment. And if you want to join us in the chat, you can for a little bit. Tomorrow we've comment from 1 o'clock. Yeah, I had mistakenly announced we were commentating on the women's today, but I realised we had swapped it round so that we made sure we caught the final round of the women's tomorrow, actually. On board 13, we have Chris Finn against Zoe Varney. And Zoe's playing in a lot of tournaments, so she should be well in form. Jem Gurner on 14 against Declan Shafi from Scotland. And then on 15, Julie O against Jude Shearsby. So it's looking like a lot of exciting games tonight. And it's just about to start, actually, 1 minute to 7. So
I'm looking forward to Tom O'Gorman against Harry Grieve. I'm expecting that to be a really good matchup, actually. And Matthew Wadsworth, Ameet Ghasi should be a good one. And Tristan Cox against Matthew Turner. That's going to be exciting too.
Without wanting to jinx anything, we've been extremely lucky in this tournament about how we've got a lot of decisive games and a lot of very enterprising play, people going for attacks, people trying out new ideas. So it's been some really good chess to follow.
Indeed. Now let's have a look. I can see the games are beginning now. So time to share my screen. In we go.
Hi, good evening.
And off we go. We've got, has Mickey started yet? Not yet, but Wadsy and Ameet Ghasi.
Yes, Wadsy and Ameet.
I'm going to swap the board around because that is a little bit confusing all the time.
And so Matthew started with an English opening. And
C4 indeed.
Yes, he's playing a fianchetto. Looking like lining up first of all for quite a quiet game, although we know from past experience that it only stays quiet for a little while.
Yeah, it's Ameet's a fianchetto player, always fianchettos his king's bishop, and plays normally plays white's normally against these systems, white's putting his pawns in the center, c4, d4, e4. And then, he's playing sort of slightly weird stuff. But here, Matthew's playing an English. We might get a full English where white plays the pawn to d3 later, or we might get a d4, a King's Indian, something like that. So, it'd be interesting to see, actually. I guess Matthew Wadsworth is going to play the English. c6 there. So actually, Ameet's playing for or hinting at a surprisingly solid Grunfeld. If white plays d4, then d5 is a very, very solid line indeed. Yeah, I mean, Matthew actually avoiding that. Knight e4.
That's a bit like erratic. Oh, this is interesting.
Well, I think Ameet probably thought that Matthew would normally not play d4. So he thought Matthew would probably want to play d3, bishop b2, knight bd2. So he's gone knight e4 early to force Matthew into a d4 system. So this is a sort of a normal, very solid Grunfeld against the g3 system. But now knight e4 is maybe a little bit early normally. But I mean, it's this is very, very solid indeed. So yeah, we're going to see how this goes. Let's have a look. Luck is my skill against checkmate a lot. So this is Daniel Fernandez against Peter Finn, the qualifier, who's had an excellent run so far. So and now this is quite an interesting opening. This one, it's a lot of theory on this. It's a bishop b5 Sicilian, and Black's playing a fairly risky line, you've got to say. But it's going to be interesting to see which line Daniel chooses, because he plays a lot of weird stuff here. I mean, knight g5 in this position has been played quite a bit. It's the most popular move by far, in actual fact. I mean, castles is another move here. But let me switch that board around because it looks more normal from the white side. So yeah, but knight g5 is really the main move here. And then I mean, there've been some very high level games here. Magnus Carlsen's played this a number of times. f6 is the main move, is the main reply there. So it'd be interesting to see whether Daniel's got anything prepared here.
Yeah, and also what Peter's got prepared, or what he's got lined up, whether he can predict what Daniel played.
Exactly. Now, the one game I'm not seeing Michael Adams' game.
No, I haven't seen Mickey yet.
Okay,
Kevin,
okay.
Good luck to you. Kevin's watching from his hospital bed, Kevin Winter. He had surgery this morning, but he can watch chess. So yes, a big shout out to Kevin. Now, Kevin, we interviewed Kevin for our Chess for Life in the Time of Corona series. So if you want to see Kevin on chess, then look that up. And Kevin, just good luck to you. All the best for a speedy recovery.
Indeed, lovely to see you, Kevin, and thanks for joining the show. We're going to have some great chess today, so looking forward to it. Let's have a look. Yeah, I haven't. I'm going to try B unit again. I'm just going to try it individually. You never know. Maybe maybe a command got missed out there. But although Bogdan has had problems, hasn't he? He
might have problems logging on. He did have. He did start one late before, didn't he? Because he had a.
He did indeed.
Yeah.
B unit. There we are. I've got him. Here we are. So Mickey started with C4.
Another C4.
Very unusual.
Yeah.
C5, knight f3, knight c6, knight c3, knight f6. Oh, Mickey's going for something quiet here. E3, e6, d4, d5.
Bogdan's doing this symmetrical defense. You can't keep that up forever, because if you do, they'll find a way of moving the queen to a place where your queen will get taken, or do a check or something like that, and it never quite works to just copy.
So bishop b5 here, and yeah, I mean, Black's got a few alternatives here. Oh, good lord!
Oh, what's the board?
Wait a minute! Oh my goodness! I pressed I hit the wrong key. Wait a minute! I'm coming right back. There we are. Oh dear me! Sorry, I in my enthusiasm to get to my board, I
still don't see the screen, so I think you might need to share screen.
Indeed,
well.
I've got to share my screen again. Good lord, sorry about that. That was I'll try and control my enthusiasm just a little bit more there. Right, there we are. Let me just I can actually make that screen just a little bit bigger, I think, can't I? Yeah, but I think it looks okay like that, doesn't it? Yeah. So after bishop b5 here, a couple of possibilities. C takes d4 is one move. Bogdan's gone for bishop d6, takes, bishop takes, castles and castles, and yeah, I mean, this is quite a very typical position in actual fact. You can actually get it from the Nimzo Indian, from the Rubinstein Nimzo Indian as well. And White's just going to play against the IQP, and Black's going to have to find some way for. Thanks, Guitar Man, but I should probably avoid hitting by accident one of those stamping on my keyboard by accident. It's so yeah, I mean, and Black's going to have to try and find counterplay. I have analysed these a lot actually, and do you know I can't remember anything about them. Oh my god, I have analysed these so much. I can't believe I'm so clueless on them now.
It looks a bit like you know, sometimes White gets that position. It looks like a reversed Queen's Gambit type position.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to think, because I think bishop e6 was normal here. Bishop b2, rook c8, rook. Yeah, wait a minute. Let me get an analysis board together, and then we can have a little look at that one. So whack. So bishop e6, I think, was the normal move in this position. Bishop b2, rook c8, rook c1, and then I seem to remember that after a6 you had this trick knight takes d5. That's what I think is possible. I'm trying to work out whether this actually is the case. Doesn't look very convincing. I get the feeling I'm misremembering one of my lines here, but certainly this move this bishop on b5 is I suppose is the only unusual factor in a normal IQP. You know, normally that one would be on e2 somewhere. Yeah, it's kind of and this gives White the extra possibility of taking on c6 and going knight a4. I mean, I seem to remember that there were some Magnus Carlsen games in this line. I think with bishop g4, bishop b2, maybe rook c8, and or maybe even a6 in this position, and White was playing something like this and knight e2. So not fearing the doubling of the pawns, because after bishop f3, gf3, you're going to go king h1 and rook g1 and line up on the g file. And Magnus won a good game in this line, I remember. But it's going to be interesting. I mean, Bogdan's thinking already, and I mean, he's a pretty theoretical player. And he really throws out his openings quickly. So I guess that this has surprised him. It's yeah, I said I have analysed this an awful lot, but I can't quite work out what my move. I actually come to think of it.
That doesn't usually happen to you, Matthew. I think we're normally quite good at remembering.
I haven't played for a long time. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And it's playing and revising your openings for actual games that really make you revise. So I think this is the one. Bishop b2, rook c8, rook c1, and if a6, we've got knight d5. I think that's right. So I'm attacking this bishop on c5, and if takes, I can take here. I think this was the point. But I think that after bishop b2, I think this is right. I think you can go a6, and either White can try and move the bishop back, or White can play this more ambitious line and play this or rook c1. It's quite decent for White. You know, I mean, I think it's very very, very interesting. Oh, a provocative opening.
We're going there.
Ah, yes, indeed. Yes. This is quite well known actually. There've been a lot of games here. F6, a lot of theory on this. So Queen F3 is one major line, and another idea. Another idea is just E takes F6, and even knight E4 has been played as well. It's another possibility. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. We'll follow this one, and we'll just see which line Daniel plays.
Looks like Peter must have been expecting this. He has not used up any time, and Daniel's been thinking for about 10 minutes, I guess, choosing which line he wants to play.
Indeed, indeed. I mean, it's pretty good, really, to guess what Daniel's going to play, because I've certainly
How can you guess what Daniel's going to play?
ever managed it in my life. You're likely to get A3, F4, whatever. I mean, it's really he's really does do all sorts, really. So let's just have a quick look at what's happened with Ameet and okay. So we've got knight h4, bishop e6, and Matthew took on d5 and went knight c3. So, I mean, if I had to say, if I had to guess, I'd just say this was absolutely dead even. That White has absolutely nothing from this opening. But I mean, these are mainline Grunfelds really, and it's how it goes really. It's tough to get anything against Grunfeld. So I'd sort of expect. I mean, Black can do a number of things, but I'd expect knight c3 followed by knight c6. I mean, that would be the blitz reaction, really. Just develop your pieces, rook on c8, and then f5 though.
F5.
So Ameet is not going to just
no longer a quiet game here.
Play for equality. He's going for the he's going for advantage or disadvantage depending how it turns out. So that's going to be interesting. That's good. That's good to see. Let's have a look at Tom O'Gorman against Harry Grieve.
Yes.
Well, I'm disappointed.
Oh, don't worry, it'll liven up.
Our two nutters are just
for sure
playing very sensibly here. So
they're probably scared of each other being a nutter, and so
indeed,
going a bit quieter.
So very well. We'll see how that all turns out. Grigor Toshek White against Harry Evans. Very unusual opening this. So White played. It was a Sicilian, and White played b3, which you don't see very often. And then after Black went a6, to stop the bishop coming into to b5, White went g3, and now we've got d5. So. Yeah, I wonder what White's going to do here. I mean, vaguely, you could go e takes d5 and after ed go d4. That's possible. Or you could, I'm not quite sure what else. You don't really want to go e5, not with your bishop on b2. And d3 looks very odd. I mean, they do these things sometimes nowadays, just to, and they claim that the exchange of queens is maybe fine for White or good for White, but I don't believe this version at all. So
you do just take.
I mean, queen e2 is also vaguely possible, but it looks. I don't know. I think you take, but after takes, I mean, I mean, the thing is, if you're going to do anything nice in this position, you'd take, and go d4 here.
Yeah.
But
maybe that's what he's doing.
It's possible. It looks a bit odd, to be honest. It really does look a bit odd. I mean, this diagonal and this diagonal, and I'm not sure. I don't like it very much. Simply, but. Because the point about all these things always is that you've got all these disruptive moves simply, and queen a5 checks and all that, and queen e7 checks as well. And for example, after bishop g4, bishop g2, I can go queen e7 simply, and well, I mean, okay, you can go king f1, but it's not. I don't know. Yeah, I don't like it very much, but we'll see. Maybe Gregor's got some interesting idea there. Well, what is this? This is a Diamond Knot against Mark Hebden.
Okay, yes, I saw the very start of this. It was completely symmetrical.
Yeah, so d4, c5, c3, queen c7, knight bd2. So yeah, very logical. Mark's taken on d4 and gone d5. Yeah, I mean, it's just again, it's one of those Grunfelds, like on board 2 actually, on board 3 rather. Actually, Matty Turner. We haven't.
Oh yes, we need to watch that.
Wait a minute. I don't seem to have Matty Turner anywhere.
Right, let me check it out.
I think maybe the command that they gave wasn't quite 100% good there.
We'll get you something right.
So I guess White's going to go knight e5. Okay. So maybe going to move the knight round to f3 and then move the other one out to f4. we'll see what Mark manages to make of this one.
Tristan Cox, Rock Troll. Okay. Yeah.
No, I think this is not a good one. So I'm seeing a few games from other people, basically, because I'm following the whole tournament virtually. So it's yeah. So is Matthew Turner playing? Yes.
I'm just trying to look it up.
Okay.
I've got all these other games open as well. I'll just close them all.
So this is Tom Villiers. Played a rather dodgy Benoni, as we come to expect from him.
Yeah, this game is going. Rock Troll against.
Oh, okay. I'll do. I just don't seem to have him. Is it Rock Troll together?
Yeah, Rock Troll, or one word.
There we are. Oh, wow. Look at Rock Troll. So what did Rock Troll do? He went, look at this. So we got an IMSO Indian, and Rock Troll played the extremely quiet Bishop D2, which you really think that's not going to be anything at all. Matthew Turner played Knight F3, C6 and D5, slightly unusual. Queen C2, Knight BD7, and then Rock Troll hit out with G4. There we are. So it's just a pawn. I mean, you can actually just take it. You get some open lines, of course, with white. But Matthew Turner has replied E5.
Okay, he's not taking it.
And he's hitting back. So this is heavy hitting from the start. So we're going to see what on earth turns out for this one. This is ridiculous. So G4, well done, Rock Troll. That's why we like to follow you. It's let's have a look. We've Bogdan didn't go Bishop G4. He went Bishop D6. Okay, so Bogdan went A6 indeed. Takes, Bishop B2, and then Bishop D6, which is not stupid. I mean, if White's intending to meet Bishop G4 with Knight E2, and then you're not actually you're not going to take on F3, then you maybe could just reserve your bishop to come to D7 and support the pawn on C6. So White's going to decide what to do. I mean, Rook C1 is a very normal move. H3 can even be played. Knight E2, also very sensible. And if you know this well with White, if you've spent quite a bit of time studying it, then and you can actually remember your variations.
Remember it,
and you can actually really play a lot of moves very quickly, and easily get an advantage. It's quite strategically, it's quite risky for black. So interesting to see what happens there. What have we got next? Idle player against Gunslinger 222. So idle player against Jonathan Blackburn. Yeah, this is a fairly normal modern. Black's given up the light squared bishop, but has made sure that he gets a square on d4 for the knight. And if you go bishop g2 like this, then Black will follow up probably with c5 and just really cement that knight into d4. Yeah, if you want to get rid of it, well, you can get rid of it with knight e2, or moves like that. I mean, in general, I'm always a little bit. I'm not super happy about giving up the light squared bishop in these positions. Just giving White the two bishops, because there are lots of weak light squares in Black's position. If he starts playing the breaks that he wants to, like f5, but this is pretty respectable, and it's been played quite a bit. Let's have a look. Sean the Prawn, who was on our stream yesterday. So he has played. We've got this very typical Caro-Kann. So I'll just run through it. Let's run through it from the start. Very popular at the top level, at all sorts of levels now, the Caro-Kann. Bishop f5, less popular nowadays. It's been very popular in the past, but yeah, just I think people have just got a bit bored with it, really. I mean, it's still a good opening. I mean, normally what White does here is White plays bishop d2 and castles queenside very quickly. And here White's played a little bit more slowly with c4. So Black's taken the opportunity to do a very quick c5 here. Bishop c3, takes on d4, knight takes d4, bishop c5, castle's queen side, and I would expect castle's king side from black. So it's going to be quite exciting. I mean, one of black's main ideas is to swap off this dark squared bishop, actually. So and to play a move like queen b6 and then bishop b4, just to reduce white's attacking potential here. And what does white often do? White often plays knight e4 and then tries to get in g4 to g5. I mean, one funny thing actually is that normally in these positions, white normally throws in h5 here, and when the bishop goes back, then you play bishop d3. White hasn't actually played h5, which is quite old-fashioned in actual fact.
It's been good to leave it in reserve for a little while.
Yeah, but there you had it with tempo, and now you don't. So you do keep h5 for your knight. So it'd be interesting to see whether that works out. I mean, in the old days they often used to avoid it, but modern chess they've been doing it all the time, really.
So are you saying the white player's an older player who forgot his white?
No, I would think he probably forgot, to be honest. That would be my general assumption. But we'll see. Yeah. It's I mean, Spassky did in the old days, not playing h5, but I think it is a generally useful move.
Is it Alex Frost? It's the font's very small. Let me see.
We got Chris Vinn against Zoe Varney here. So a Torre attack, and Zoe is teeing up for a kingside attack, looking for h6 and g5, I think. So that should be quite exciting. Queen a4, probably black will play king b8 here, and we'll see how that goes. Chelsea Kings.
And Alex Scott is a young player, 20, only 20.
Okay. So Jem Gurner against Declan Shafi here. So an odd sort of, well, it's a Queen's Indian that's turned into a Benoni. So black played this standard line, and then at some stage black played c5. Very unusual, actually. d5 takes. Now, as far as I seem to remember, knight h4 was supposed to be quite strong, actually. But white played knight e1, a little bit more passive there. Knight a6, then a slightly odd move, maybe. Knight takes d5. I mean, in general, black's looking a bit cramped there. So to give him a knight exchange seems a little bit helpful somehow. But this is, just a typical Benoni position where black's bishop is not yet on the long diagonal. So, I mean, natural idea for white will be to go e4, f4, try and go knight f3 and get these pawns moving, basically. And black might try and do the same with the queenside pawns. Maybe b5, c4, knight c5 will come in and maybe try and get the bishop on f6. This bishop is not that great, that's the point about it. So it's just looking at here. It would be nicer to have it back on c8 to save the tempo for development, for some queenside play. That's always the general feeling. Do you have a quick look at what's happened with the provocative opening? So actually Daniel, of course, played a slightly unusual move, queen h5 check, g6, queen f3. So an interesting one. I'm not sure in principle why you'd want to force g6, not completely clear. But there's definitely another move. So queen d5, a6 to chase away the knight, knight back to c3, the most common move, queen c7, all been played before this, castles, e6. Yeah, I guess you've got to do this at some stage. I guess it's such a shame to weaken this square, but I guess e6 is normal. Sorry, queen e4, bishop g7 attacking, rook e1, castles, and d3. So yeah, actually a very interesting position here. I'm just checking to see whether it's conceivable that. Okay, so a previous game actually went. After castles, black went bishop g7. Oh, good lord! It's just Always forgetting this. You can't just make moves on the board. So black went bishop g7, and then white played e6, just trying to ruin the black structure and trade this e pawn for this g pawn, which is quite interesting. So e6 actually avoids that. And after queen e4, bishop g7, rook e1, castles, d3. Yeah, how is this position?
Yeah, how would you assess this?
Yeah, I'm wondering. I mean, actually, rook f5 is possible here already to attack the pawn on e5. So I guess that unless there's a stunning idea, I guess you're going to play f4 here, which I don't know, feels a mixed bag really, because you're opening this diagonal. So I mean, I could play rook b8 or something, or rook a7. I'm not sure which. Rook b8, I'm a little bit nervous, because there's this diagonal, and there's going to be a takes and something. But maybe just rook b8, and then what is white going to do? I mean, white could play a move like g4, and take like this, for example. But then we go b5, and we just got this massive bishop down there. So yeah, this is not very clear at all, actually. But rook f5 looks natural, just to force the pawn to f4 like this.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, just free your rook, and then in you go. And we have to see. I mean, white wants to move his queen away and wants to get the knight on e4. That would be his heart's desire, but it's not trivial to achieve, really. This pressure here is quite uncomfortable. Yeah, don't know. Not sure about that. That's going to be quite tricky. Let's have a little look at Mickey. Ah, there we are. You see, I know my Mickey. He went black went bishop g4, and Mickey went knight e2. So offering this
okay,
bishop f3. So, yeah. I think this is actually all still very well known. So yeah, I would expect Mickey to still be in book there. Yeah. Matthew Turner.
Okay,
we're getting some
Matthew Turner
comments. Okay, yes, there we are. So Rock Troll took on e5. Knight takes g4 from Matthew Turner. Yeah. a3, and then bishop a5. Not giving white the bishop pair, but just waiting on there. And well, this knight g4 move's a little bit annoying because you can't go castles queen side because a knight takes f2. So that's why it's a little bit annoying.
And threatening to take on e5 as well.
Indeed. Now the question is white going to take on d5 then? That's the obvious move. How would black reply? I mean, maybe if you took if I went I might go b4 here so that I'm actually hitting something when you take on e5. That might be interesting. Alternatively, this looks like the most natural. But then I could take. Then the big question is, can I do anything? Can I do anything amazing here? Castles, bishop g4. This is looking a bit. I have the feeling that I've maybe weakened myself a little bit too early with white, and I'm not really getting any attack for it. So I'm not very sure about this.
Are you going off the move g4?
Well, I was expecting g5, I have to say, in this position.
Yeah, okay.
I thought that was going to be the normal follow-up, basically. Yeah, what does black do? Is black going to take on d4? Well, I could take on f6, maybe, possibly. Now, that's not so clear, because here I could probably go queen f6. That's a possibility. But after he takes d4, I'd probably take with a knight or something, And well, if you get your knight, if your knight goes to h5 or something like that, I've got something for it. Whereas I'm a little bit worried here that I mean, black's knight is coming back to a great square on e5, and it's hitting lots of weak squares in the white position. So a little bit worried about Rock Troll here, but hopefully everything will will all pan out right for Rockdrop. Have a quick look at Mark Hebden.
Yeah.
What's happened here?
Diamond.
So Diamond played his knight to e5, getting the bishop out to f4. Mark's put his bishop on e4, and bishop f4 has been played. Still pretty symmetrical. I guess Mark's going to play queen b6 now. Played attacking b2.
Yeah.
I guess queen d2. Yeah, maybe knight a6 possible. Knight d7 sensible. It is a very equal position, this, so it's going to take quite a bit of patience to turn this one into something, I think. Maybe knight e8 to d6, that's possible, so that we can play f7 to f6 later to chase away the knight. All possible, but yeah, very solid position, this one. Let's have a look. Anything else we haven't seen yet? I don't think so particularly. Let's have a look.
Queen and pawns against poisonous mushroom.
No, we didn't. Let's have a look there. Okay, so this is a rather unusual French here. Actually, well, it came from a Nimzovich system. D4, D5, D4, bishop B4, very unusual. A3, and then we're back into E5. Yeah, this is a pretty good French for white. This knight is not fantastic on C6, but after knight E7, white played the F4. Not never quite sure about this move F4 because it's really blocking in this bishop. Normally you actually end up playing moves like terribly sorry. You end up normally playing moves like H4 to H5 to H6, to weaken the dark squares and just make sure that this bishop stays active here. I mean, you can activate the bishop through A4, bishop A3, but F4 is normally a move you avoid at this early stage. Castles, knight F3, F6. White played interestingly as well, took on F6, rook F6. So white's definitely clamped down on this E5 square. And black's position is a little bit funny because this knight's on C6 and you'd normally want the pawn here attacking D4. I'm guessing black's going to try and move the pieces around here, maybe go knight F5 to D6. Yeah, going to be a tough fight, this one. Going to be a tough fight. Yeah, we'll see how that one goes. How is Tom Villiers doing here?
I was just looking at the same. Yes.
Yeah, this is a bit of a dodgy system from Hack Attack, but he is ganging up on this D5 pawn here. So looking to play bishop B7, and white has to decide what to do. I mean, A5 is possible here. To meet B5 with knight B6, that's quite an interesting line. The other line you could do is to play bishop F2, and then if bishop B7, you go knight E3. It's a very nice blockading square for the knight, and you're going to be able to really consolidate this piece. I mean, in principle, these things normally should be actually just very nice for white, but they're always much more tricky in practical play, just because black somehow gets some attack. But in principle, white should be doing pretty well here. And eventually, what's white going to play for? B4 is one break, and G4 is the big break. That takes some organization. Obviously, if white could manage to exchange off dark squared bishop, queen, and one or more knights, then that would be great, because this piece would not be a very good piece blocked in by its own pawns on E4 and F5. This one's hotting up. White's decided to undermine the black knight on D4 with F4, and black has actually not played C5 but played F5 very quickly, which I think is a bit of a mischance, but we'll see. I guess white's going to play rook E1 here, and I guess black's got to work out exactly how he's going to do some stuff. I mean, F takes E4 and then play the knight to F5 is a pretty typical idea. Just aiming for these weak squares. I mean, I don't know whether you could do this can always consider it. I don't know whether you should do it immediately or not. FE. The thing you've always got to watch out for is this move, and then if DE, then back, white goes knight e4, and that's rather annoying. I don't know whether it would be possible to do something like queen e5 maybe and attack g3.
Okay,
that's
you
possible.
Could maybe go bishop f4.
But, yeah, I mean, knight takes e4, knight f5 is what I'm thinking about. And if bishop f2, I want to go e takes f4, and if queen f4, I'm hoping that I've got something. I mean, that would probably be quite decent. I mean, I've got knight e5, so I've got quite a lot of activity there. But you'll probably take with a f pawn, and this one's a bit weak.
Yeah.
But it's covering e5, and of course I've got a path into e6. Not sure. I mean, it's always very double-edged, these positions, just to know exactly when you can strike and what you can do.
Rock Troll is apparently getting even more lively.
It's on b4, c takes, knight takes e5. Indeed. I thought maybe you should take on d5 first and wait with b4, but takes. Yeah. What is Rock Troll going to do here? I'm not very sure, to be honest. I'm a little bit concerned for Rock Troll's safety here.
Yeah. Because this is actually a sort of position I would expect Matthew Turner to be very good in as well.
Yeah, and I mean, stuff like knight d4, there's queen h4 coming in. I mean, f2 is extremely weak here. So, yeah, I'm not quite sure. I mean, I guess maybe you could take, and if maybe you could do this. You could take. Now, if knight takes, I'd want to try bishop
g3. Can you take on e3? Is that too
on e3?
No, sorry, it's probably just mad.
I could take back with the bishop, I suppose.
That would scupper
it. So bishop g2, I could do. A little bit worried about queen g5, maybe. Not quite sure. Not quite sure how I'm defending this one nicely. But I mean, also bishop takes e5 could be a bit annoying here, because h3 you go queen h4. So I don't know. I've got a bad feeling about this one for Rock Troll there.
Yeah.
So maybe just I think that move g5 was very important. But okay, let's have a look. Tom O'Gorman against Harry Grieve. Well, they're determined to not to live up to the billing. So far, nothing exciting is happening at all. So no, they played great all the way through. They've been wonderful fun. So
I reckon by half an hour's time, it'll be very exciting on that board.
Indeed. So Queen, this was what we were wondering what Gregor Toczek was going to come up with. So Queen e2, Queen e7, Knight c3, Bishop g4. Is this really? Yeah, this is really working. It looks like. I was just wondering a little bit, but the idea was if Knight takes d5, we go Bishop takes f3, Knight takes c7, Bishop e2, and this is going to work. Knight c6, Bishop f1, and you're going to emerge a piece up. So Queen takes c7, Knight takes c7. Bishop g2, f6, h3, Bishop e6, castles. Yeah, I mean, I suppose if White gets in d4 now, then he'll be reasonably happy. And the question is whether Black can play d4 here, really. It's a little bit risky.
You could try knight e4, yeah.
Yeah, and I'll go knight d5, maybe.
Yeah,
I mean, I could even play b6. I mean, this is conceivable. Knight d5 is more natural.
yeah.
You go rook e1. I go king d7 maybe. So I can't go king f7 because knight g5 would be terminal. But yeah, it's a little bit fraught. Obviously, I'm not going to want you to take this I'm not going to want to open up the D file, really. That would be way too much. So the question is whether I can, well, I was wondering about coming here with the idea of CD. I go knight b4, you know, hitting a few squares. I'd have thought you'd be able to emerge with something sort of decent, you know, but you might have to give up a pawn along the way. Yeah, and if you go castles, I guess you'll probably go rook e1 first, and then after bishop f7, you'll go d4. And I would have thought that that white's going to end up with a little edge there, you know, with an isolated queen's pawn and plenty and quite a bit of activity. Although I don't know, knight f5, takes. How bad is this?
Oh, f2's on.
Yeah, maybe not so bad. Maybe not so bad. Maybe this is still just a very reasonable position for black. Yeah, I mean, interesting play, but probably nothing special for white. How we haven't looked at Mickey in a while, have we? So, okay, so knight e2, rook c8. I actually think that we're following we're virtually following a Magnus Carlsen game here, I think.
Okay.
So knight e5 takes rook e8. So we've got the opposite coloured bishops here, but yeah, I mean, they have a certain drawish tendency, but of course you've got lots of pieces on the board, and there are lots of weak dark squares in black's position. So I mean, if white can play this right for a few moves, then you know, you might get the chance to really get you know, excellent control over the black position. And once you get entrenched on the dark squares, there's nothing that's going to be able to remove you. But you've got to do that first. Oh, bishop f6.
He's taking it off.
Well, there we are. That's a surprise to me. Probably that would be about the last move that I would ever look at. That's a very strange move, actually. What is the idea here? Okay, so I think Mickey's going to play f3 now, actually. h3. Really?
Is he just saying he didn't like the other guy Bogdan having the bishop pair, and he wants queen and knight against queen and bishop?
Yeah, I mean, black can take here, which interesting.
Oh, and go d4.
Well, I was assuming that this was a little bit. Well, the black would have some decent counterplay here, but of course, if Mickey's going to play it, then I'm going to doubt that straight away. I mean, I guess. Well, I mean, I could play queen a6, I suppose.
Oh yeah.
D takes e3, f takes e3, but this is the kind of thing that the kind of thing that sometimes gets liquidated quite quickly. I mean, what
did you think? He could still be sort of in theory.
It could be actually. Well, let's have a look. I'll go back to that and then see it. So what was it? It was oh yeah, wait a minute, just waiting for my computer to catch up. Peter Finn is sacking a pawn. Let's just have a look at that.
Okay, let's see.
G takes f4. Okay, so after f4, black took on f4. Yeah, I was expecting rook b8, but black took. Ooh, wow. What was that? Bishop f4. Interesting. Rook b8, queen e3. So yeah, this was why I wasn't so keen on taking on f4 so early, because you know this gives you the opportunity to because in this position you can't move the queen out of the way because I just take on f4. But when I take the bishop on f4, then I get this chance. But Peter has played the move d5.
Oh wow! So all right, can you? He's played it pretty quick as well. Can you take it on passant?
Yeah, you certainly can. I'm wondering exactly what the idea is then. So if I take on Basson, then I mean, you sort of think, why did I play Rook B8? You know, if I'm going to do this, but I guess the idea is Queen F7 here, hitting F4 and threatening Bishop D4. You know, that's the obvious idea. But White can play Knight E2 here. And oh my goodness, actually, but that is true. Bishop D4 actually just wins a piece.
So say again.
Yeah, this could be very strong. So E takes D6.
Yeah.
Queen F7 hits
F4. Threatening Bishop D4.
Yeah, and if we go Knight E2, which I actually thought was just the best line, then you go Bishop D4 anyway. Knight D4 takes
and take the bishop as well.
And take the bishop. And unless
that's very clever.
Unless you've got something. Oh wait a minute. Queen A7 picks up the rook. Oh
gosh. So this is good for White.
The trapper trapped, in actual fact.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Yeah. No. I think this is just winning for White. I think.
Oh wow.
Unless there's something amazing
something
here.
That we haven't thought of.
Well, I could go Rook G4 in this position.
All right. Queen takes Rook.
Queen F3.
Oh my goodness.
Queen C8, King G7. I got Queen C3 check. And Queen D2. That works.
Oh yeah. So this is good for White.
First sight. Yes.
Wait. So this is quite a all right.
Yeah. This looks. I think this is. I think this is winning for White. So I think this move D5 is just not good. I think you can just take it.
Takes. So how's it go? Queen F7.
Knight E2. I mean, it's really. I mean, you can play Bishop B2 or something, but there's D7 coming in as well. So
could you go Bishop D7?
Yeah, I'll go C3 then. You're not.
Rook
well, wait a
F8.
minute. Maybe this is quite. Yeah, this is virtually winning, actually, isn't it? Wow. Okay. So Bishop D7. I mean, maybe I should play something like Bishop H6 here.
Okay.
If Rook F8, I'll go Knight G. Oh, no, I've got Bishop D4 then. Oh, there. If this is, yeah, I was going to say, Guitar Man. Indeed, if he's seen all that, he is indeed. Because I mean, I'm expecting. I mean, you can really expect that that this is the trap, and it doesn't work because of Queen A7. But Bishop D7 is a hell of a move. This is actually, yeah. I mean, we could have a move like. Well, the thing is, if you go G4 now, then I go Bishop D4, you know, and everything's improved, you know, because the rook's no longer trapped. So you need a good move. You need a good move here.
So this is now looking pretty good for.
Well, I mean,
Black if we're analysing it right.
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, Bishop G. This is just very complicated, right? I can play Bishop G3 here, Rook F8 and H3, for example. You know, I can do this because I'm not getting mated anymore. And my king's out. I'm not going to take on B2 because B7's hanging. Maybe I play Bishop C6. Who knows? I mean, this is a very
interesting game.
Yeah. Yeah, moves like Queen A7. They're very unusual. These trapped trap pieces in the middle of the ball position. You know, when the opponent's still got time. I'm intrigued actually. What's Daniel going to do? Daniel's thinking for a long time, I think, already.
I would, yeah. There's a lot to work out, I think.
Daniel's extremely good tactician, you know. So it is. I think it's completely possible for him to work something like this out. I'm just wondering. No, that's less good. I mean, I was wondering about e takes d6, whether you could even go queen b6 or something. But we've always got this knight e2 move, you know, and yeah, I mean, this is in principle, this is quite, you know, if white can stabilize himself, it should be good. So it's got to be this this queen f7 and bishop d4 idea. Yeah, so I mean, I would expect this knight e2. And not bishop d4, but bishop d7, I guess, unless there's something even more outrageous that we're missing. But I don't think so. Bishop d7, and then I would think a move like bishop g3,
yeah,
rook f8 and h3, and just you know. But yeah, after bishop c6, yeah, I'm not quite sure how you do this. I mean, I can think. The thing is, you know, for black, I can think of plenty of things to do: g5, h5, h4, this sort of stuff. Oscar Idle has a good position. Idle player. Ooh. Saucy. Knight g5. Very nice.
So if black takes that knight, recapture, hitting the queen, and it has no squares.
And when your queen is trapped, who are you going to call? So, sorry about that. Yeah, so, yeah, I don't know. I mean, something like knight f6, we don't take. We go rook e6 first. So it's horrific. This is really horrific, actually. So it looks like very nice move, knight g5. He's trying to get onto the tweet, isn't he? That's
yes,
that's
he is. He wants to.
Come on, let's give off.
He saw knight h8 last night and wanted some of that action.
Should we give Oscar? We'll give Oscar a tweet, shall we? Because
yes, definitely.
And idle player, there we are. Let me just. I'll just give me 2 seconds whilst I get my my Twitter up. You've got to give people there. When people sack nice stuff like that. There we are. Oscar Idle. It's a nice shot. Nice short. The nice shot.
Big developments in Gregor's game.
Oh, let's have a look. At the Caplin online British. Lord, my spelling is awful. It's the British Chess Championships. I'm sure Hikaru has people to do this for him. ECF Chess, but we're not quite on that at that level, I'm afraid. There we are. So. Fame. There we are. So, who did you say it was? Where was stuff happening?
Gregor Tosic. Is he?
Yeah, Welsh time. Oh, indeed. Oh, I said we couldn't go King F7, so it happened. And well, Knight takes E6 would have been extremely strong here, but Gregor's going for the maximalist approach. Is he going for? Oh, actually, H4 check is going to be very strong here. King F5. Well, analysis.
Oh my goodness, look at that king.
So, whoop. So H4 check will be quite strong. King F5, Bishop H3 check his mate. King H5, Bishop F3 check his mate. You do have King G4.
King G4, you have to.
When I mean, you might just simply play Bishop takes D5, I think, and I'm not sure whether is H4 the best or could we do even stronger. Hard to say.
Looks pretty good.
I mean, it is very good. Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's not, probably shouldn't worry too much about this stuff and just play it. Yes, no, looks very good. Looks like Gregors is going to get a good win there. He's had some tough games. He's played very well, and he's faced some extremely some opponents who played extremely well against him as well. So let's have a look. Tom O'Gorman against Harry Grieve. Still nothing happening. Curses. Come on, boys. Waiting for time trouble. Well, maybe something might be happening. Maybe after FE, is Tom going to play F4? Maybe. Is he going to do that? Could be. I wouldn't be surprised. So, although I don't think it's very good, actually. Yeah.
What's he against?
Wadsy. Ooh, right. What's happening here? So, rook takes c7. Well, actually, I would have, if I was going to say that anyone was better, I kind of assumed that black was better here. Maybe by a reasonable amount, actually, because so rook takes c7. We're going to take back with the queen. We've got our c file. So I mean, I think knight e5. I just go queen c2. Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe queen a1 does work, but I wouldn't. I would only have played like that in my youth, to be honest, when I would calculate everything to ridiculous depths. But d takes c5. I mean, even here, queen c2 is not stupid. Yeah, I mean, I think Matthew's in a bit of trouble there. Will Zoe's attack arrive first against Chris Fink? Let's have a look. Where's Zoe?
Horsey chess.
Oh, I wouldn't bet on it, Wolfsman. I'm thinking rather that White's attack is looking rather quicker there. So I mean, rook takes b7 is a threat already, which is the big problem. So if you go g takes f4, I can actually already go rook b7 here. So threatening mate on a7, rook takes, threat again on a7, and then king takes, queen c6, and knight d7.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is looking really worrying for Zoe, I'm afraid.
Can she defend at all?
You can defend. No, you can defend. But you're not going to... I mean, I guess queen g7 is kind of the move you want to play. Threaten gf and also defend along here.
Yeah.
So, how do we do this? Well... Oh, I don't know. I mean, I was sort of shocked by the position, but it's not 100% obvious how you're going to do it. And we're going to get a GF and a D4. I can take on B7, but it's not. It's a bit mystifying, this one. I'd really expect this to be really, really good for White. Just like winning or something. But I'm not actually seeing it. I mean, what I would want to do is to go rook b3 to a3, for example, or rook b5 to a5. That's what I really want, and that's really dangerous. But the problem is you've got g takes f4 here, and you're attacking e5, and you're also attacking g2. So that's actually a little bit annoying. So I guess, I mean, maybe I should go g3 in this position, just to free this rook, and yeah, just come in later with rook b5. That might be a possibility. And then the question is, can I do some crazy stuff like d4, just to yeah, because I mean this doesn't look too dangerous. I mean, it looks like black's defending that all right.
What if you just take CD and then queen takes?
Yeah, that's absolutely possible. I can take maybe and go rook c8. I've got this diagonal, that's the thing. So I'm sort of thinking, well, some chances there. It's just I think you've got to do something dramatic. I think because I think that this rook b5 to a5, if that lands, that's going to be terminal. I think I think it's just going to win. So I don't know whether there's something better than Queen G7. I mean, but this is a real threat, and I'm not quite sure how else you'd defend against that, to be honest. And also, I mean, you are threatening Rook B5, to A5 because there's no pressure or anything. So I think Queen G7 is the only move. But after G3, I mean, I'd like to go H5 to H4, but I think I'm probably going to be too slow if I try and do that.
Oh, Bishop D7 has happened in. Wait, let's check the position. I was looking at Daniel Fernandez against.
Okay, Bishop D7, indeed. So this is well, we've predicted it. Indeed. Now, so Daniel's got to watch out a little bit here, but in all fairness, a move like Bishop G3 is not too difficult to see. I mean, Bishop H6 is also a possibility here. It's just, yeah, I'm a little bit nervous about the bishop. Don't ask me why. It's one of those things where you just some things you like and some things you don't like, and this is just one I don't like. Whether something like maybe like I mean Bishop B2. I mean Bishop B2. I go Bishop H6. I'm worried here, and maybe Bishop E5, maybe. And I might just end up being able just to take this pawn on D6. Because I mean moves like this. Oh, I don't know. I don't know whether I dare do well. Yeah, I don't know. It's maybe possible, but it feels a bit weird. It feels a bit wrong to me. I mean, even Bishop D4 takes, Queen D4 G5 was worrying me vaguely. I was wondering how I was going to get this bishop out of trouble. So I mean, this is super complicated. I mean, Bishop G3 and H3 is my blitz reaction. Just get the bishop out of the way, keep hold of your D6 pawn, which is not a bad pawn at all. At the very least, make black struggle to get it back, and then afterwards find something. But the only thing I'm worried about this position is that I know this plan for black. I'm going to play my pawns, throw my pawns forward, and I'm just a little bit worried. What is White's plan here? What is my big idea here? And I'm not sure. And sometimes it just means if you play a move like Bishop G3 quickly, then you maybe miss the critical moment. Where you had to strike back. That's what I'm worried about.
When you put G4 on the board, I thought, let's see how Rock Troll is getting along.
Ha! Indeed. G4, Bishop D4. So, Rock Troll. Come on, Rock Troll. Whoa, Rock Troll. Ooh. Well, I'm afraid he's a pawn down. And this king is open, and black's got the two bishops. Bishop
pairs, yes.
Yeah, this is looking
good for Matthew Turner.
Looking good for Matthew Turner there. Yeah. I think he's doing very well there. Yeah. Let's have a look. So Bogdan went C5, and then he went D4. They've agreed a draw. They've agreed a draw there. So Mickey and Bogdan have agreed a draw in this position. And indeed,
both still undefeated in this tournament, Mickey and Bogdan.
Indeed. Very good game by Bogdan, but this is really, this is such the frustrating thing about him that he's a very strong player, and I mean, you look at his rating. His FIDE rating, I think, is 2400 now, which is a complete travesty for for a player of that strength. But he's got the class and the preparation, everything to draw with very strong players as black. But it's the grind, isn't it? It's the grind. The pressure of beating weaker players all the time that gets to you. I think as a professional chess player, it can happen. And I think for Bogdan, that's been the problem. But But I think ask any British chess player, and they certainly wouldn't feel that he's good value, at his rating when you play as a fellow GM or something like that. So well done, Bogdan. Proud of you there. I think that was very good results, especially against the Mickey, who's in really excellent form, of course. So
no one else managed to hold a draw against him. That's for sure.
Exactly. So excellent play. Well done. And well done, Mickey, of course, for 5.5 out of 6. Going into there's one more round, isn't there, before we have a little break, before we have a New Year's break. So we're going to see who he's going to play. Probably end up playing Daniel Fernandez. You would have thought,
maybe, yes. Depending how this game goes, yeah.
But Daniel having a good think here. Actually, Daniel's played pretty quickly all the way through here. That's very, very good. Thank you, Waldsman. You're our roving reporter, Waldsman. You're telling us all the good stuff. Tashika, who's Tashika? Actually,
Queen 960, I think.
Queen 960, isn't she? That's right.
Against UK Chess Bomber.
I don't have her here. Wait a minute.
Let me see if
observe. I think I've missed this command was not perfect, I think. UK Chess Bomber.
And get her. UK Chess Bomber comes up with the game.
Yeah. Oh, good Lord. Yes, those are slightly. These have really decided to go for a bit of a walk, haven't they? Tristan, yes. Bad luck. We were cheering you on when you went G4. We were shouting for it. Way, go, rock roll. But no, he played it quite well. I thought maybe it's after E5. I thought G5 was quite a good move. Or maybe even just H3 or Rook G1. You're just holding that. But with that D5 after D5 Knight G4, I actually think you're in some trouble already somehow. I think that's just gone a bit wrong. But bad luck. But great play. Really, we loved. We were loving watching it and loving following it. So well done all the same. But he's a very strong player.
Yeah.
Matthew's, he's 2,500 rating on there, but he really is very good. He's he's not a professional chess player. He's a very, very talented, very strong player. So no shame whatsoever in being defeated by him. But hard luck for that. But well done all the same. We enjoyed it. We
have an early night. It must be only 2:30 a.m.
Oh, dear me.
3 a.m. tonight.
Oh dear. Well, it looks like Harry Grieve is going for a positional grind here.
Okay. Well, let's see it.
Probably a slight advantage for Black. E3 pawn is weak. On the other hand, D5 is not going to be so easy to defend. So I would expect a draw in this position. Idle player. Oh, look at this. Oscar, Black decided to give up the queen.
Oh.
But this is this was probably the best practical chance here. There's some dark squared weaknesses, and there's maybe a D pawn you can play with. What should White do here? I'm tempted to swap off a pair of rooks somehow. Tempted just to go Rook F1, to be honest, because the point is, if idea is that if I go Rook F1 here, if you go Bishop G3, then I've got Queen D3 forking these two.
Oh yeah,
which is pretty good. So you might. I think you might go Rook there, takes. And then how about playing Queen D3, King G7, and then B4? Stop the knight coming into C5. I think you've got complete control there, basically. I think that's... and then you're going to come in with Bishop E4 or H4, Bishop H3. That should just be... this should be completely winning, I think. So I think just a couple of accurate moves here, and and Oscar will be getting a very good win.
Excellent.
So let's have a look. I will guess rook. Oops, not bishop f3. I will guess rook f1 to up my guessing.
Right, okay. Now you're
Now, what is Hack Attack doing here? Hack Attack. Well, Hack Attack has managed to mix things up, of course. We've now got a pawn on f4 that's hanging. How is that going to be? I mean, this queen side's a little bit. I went a5 probably to stop b4. I mean, white's a little bit slow with his pieces. So, but there's an awful lot of weaknesses around there. So, what if we go queen f4 here? What's white going to do after queen f4? There's a few possibilities. I mean, we could just take and go bishop e3, I suppose.
What about takes knight h5?
That's possible. But I was wondering, I mean, I could just go rook f5 then. And you take, and I'm attacking this one. And bishop h4, I go rook d7. Bishop b5, rook c7. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that one. And bishop e3, I go rook f8, knight e4.
Oh, another fucking game.
Oh, okay. Rook f7. I'm not sure about Hack Attack's position, but I think he's going to get out something vaguely playable, I think. Harry Evans. Oh, no.
Let's see what happens with Harry's game.
I'm looking for it. Have I got it there?
Harry Evans, Gregor. Yes, we did see it with the king. The king, you know, the king.
Oh, yes, of course. Knight against Gregor. Yeah. Oh, yeah. King d7 would have been quite decent, I think, Harry. I'm really, yeah, king f7. That's a real shame about that one. That's, I think king d7 is still quite complicated. I mean, you know, white goes c3 or something like that, but still, you know, I think black's probably all right. So, yeah, shame about that one. We haven't looked at Mark for a while. What's happening here?
Yes.
Well, Diamondaut is playing incredibly tight at the back here. So, I mean, who's better? Nobody really. I mean, white's got the two bishops, but then...
Oh, I'm sorry. I've got to tell you something disappointing. There's been a draw agreed in Harry Grieve against...
Oh! Well, gentlemen, so disappointed. Talking it up before the whole stream, all of that, and it just didn't turn out to be anything at all. Turned out to be Burnley versus Sheffield United. You know, it was when I was expecting Liverpool Tottenham. It's really dear me. Never mind. Well played, both of you. That's it. Does just happen sometimes, doesn't it? And you can't do much about it. Looking at Daniel here, he's played bishop h6.
Oh yeah.
That was the move which I thought of, but I was also a little bit nervous about. Oh, actually, what I was nervous. I was also nervous. I mean, there's also rook f8 here, actually. Oh, this is why I was nervous about it. There is rook f8 as well, but yes. I think I'm threatening rook f1, and if you go knight g3, then I've got bishop d4. But you could just go h3 here, of course.
Yeah.
Oh no, actually, wait a minute. No, rook f8 isn't threatening anything, is it?
Oh.
No, it's not threatening anything.
Not threatening.
No, I think am I going completely bananas? But
I suppose you're threatening bishop. What if you could?
We're not threatening rook. We're not threatening rook f1 at all. I've been miscounting horrifically all this time. My goodness me, ridiculous, completely ridiculous. I'm not threatening rook f1. No. So why am I playing h3 and all that? Terrible. Oh, embarrassing. And it's on the stream as well. Oh dear. So bishop h6.
Well, if you like.
So awful, really. Yeah, I'm not sure about it. I mean, bishop d4, interesting, followed by g5 to trap the bishop. It's probably too much. Probably too much. Bishop b2. Oh, yeah, I was wondering about this one, wasn't I? Rook b1,
Yeah.
bishop e5. That suggested g4.
There must be something here. What about bishop h2?
Yeah, I was wondering about that one. But, I mean, there's a few different moves, but I don't... I mean, rook f2, king g3, or king g1, rather. Not king h3. King g1.
Yeah.
I don't know, rook f3, queen e5. It's not looking amazing, is it, really? Let's try bishop d4. Let's have a look at it. Takes. I suppose you could just go back to d2, couldn't you, really? And you're stopping me from coming into h8. Yeah, no, this is not. That's a rubbish idea. I mean, I don't have to come back to e5. I could go to f6 or to h8. Possible. I mean, I might be able to go g5 later. Bishop c6. Yeah, maybe bishop b2 is a good line there.
But rook h5.
Well, you're just going to take the bishop, aren't you? I mean, rook e5 maybe, but I think the queen just goes back to d2, and I don't think we've got anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to go rook f8, have some brilliancy here, but after rook f8, then rook f1 is just going to be fine for white rather. So, yeah, I mean, maybe bishop b2, rook b1, and bishop h8 maybe, and I guess you might go rook f1 then, and threaten this g4 move. I go bishop c6, you go g4. Not easy. Not easy, but yeah. Interesting. Oh, how embarrassing, though. I'm still trying to recover from the thought that I miscounted the number of pieces on C that were covering the first rank.
Well, it was just a threat, you know. It's
yeah, but I was getting all excited about it. My goodness me. Terrible. No, I mean, this looked very creative. This has been very creative from Peter. It's really been very nice, but I don't think that it's working. I can't see how it's doing the biz really. So I think we're going to have to take on b2, rook on b1. We'll probably play. I mean, I think h8 is the one. White goes rook f1. And then we do something like bishop c6, maybe. You go g4. And maybe I've got to start thinking, you know, is something like this, is this feasible even? I don't know, actually. Queen f4. I'm just getting very nice vibes for white here. Yeah. I don't know. I'm struggling to find a good continuation. I really feel that if this position was good for black, then bishop e5 would work. You know, and I'd have a. But after g4, I'm struggling to find a good way of doing this. I mean, you know, these sort of things. I could go rook f3 first, but then I go, for example, queen e5 with black. Suppose, yeah, it's never quite dead. I mean, I can go bishop c6, but I'm not even sure that I'm really mating. You know, something like knight f4. Yeah, in fact, I'm sure I'm not mating. So it's all going to be a bit useless. I think g4 is actually quite strong. And bishop d4, there's just I just take, and yeah, I think, you know, that white is just a fair amount better there. So less bishop h6 is very annoying. So tricky. And black is thinking here.
Yeah.
I guess bishop b2, but I have the feeling that white is quite a bit better.
But twirls against bishop hand.
Say that again.
Twirls 3 against Fisherpan. Thomas Wills.
I haven't got him, have I? Good Lord.
So it's Twills 3. TWILLS 3.
Ooh, that's a protracted struggle. Rai Lopez. It looks like black's Rai Lopez, where black's actually doing quite well, really. You've got all your moves in. You've got some freedom for your pieces. This one's a bit rubbish because it's you know, looking at these two pawns, but the rest of your pieces are fine. So and I mean, this one isn't so amazing, is it? It's looking at this pawn as well. So yeah, black completely fine in this position, I think. Oh, UK Bombers gone for it. E5 and bishop g5. I think this is not looking good for Toshika's king there.
Okay.
Huge difference in
yeah.
Huge difference in time usage, but I mean, white's going to play here and you know, h4 and this sort of stuff. So maybe get in at some stage d6, not immediately, of course, but I think h4 to h5 would be the next step, and it's just going to be really difficult.
Just take on a2 and then come back to c3.
You can do that, but if I go h4, if you take on a2, I'm just going to take on a2. So h4, and I'll go rook d2 and just pick up your piece.
Yeah, so it's quite hard to get that knight.
Yeah, no, I think it's virtually lost, to be honest. I think maybe b5 would be the only way to try and get some sort of play in there, you know. But I think, you know, takes here, e6. We're really starting to get serious on the king side here. You know, I mean, it's real mating threats simply coming in. So, yeah, I think this one's very, very difficult. So,
all right, so let's check Zoe. Horsey chess.
Oh yeah, that one was quite exciting, wasn't it? So she did play queen g7. Oh, g3 takes and went h5. Okay, and now I was saying rook b5 here. So I was suggesting rook b5, h4, rook a5.
Yeah.
Just letting mate on here, and I thought this would be really, really awkward because here I can go knight c6, for example.
Yeah.
With loads of threats. But white played king f2, h4, and g4.
Ooh.
Well.
Okay. Well, that g pawn can't be attacked by anything much other than a heavy.
Oh, pardon me. So I guess rook f8 here, just to threaten queen e5 for the sheer hell of it.
So looking up some more.
Well, yeah, king e3. I'll go d4 probably and try and claim that's. So I suppose king e2. But wait a minute. Then I go d4. This f4 pawn's going to be a little bit weak.
But you could have it. Say you do have your king really on e3, then you could take, couldn't you, on d4 once they do d4?
Yeah. I'm a little bit.
It's looking, yeah, that diagonal's looking scary.
No, I mean, this is probably much better for white. I mean, this is probably winning. I mean, it's not that, but it's just I'm a bit, yeah. I mean, accidents can happen like this, right? It's just that's just the
Sure.
feeling, the feeling, and I just sort of think, well, I
You're
don't
like rook takes f. Oh, you can't do rook. Rook takes f4.
No, that loses to queen e8 check.
And
So
then
that's one of the big
rook
one of the
c8.
big problems.
Rook c8 and the queen takes rook, and then mate on
Yeah,
d8.
that's the one. So that actually does win, but still, I'm
You're scared.
well. I don't know. I mean, maybe I don't even go dramatic. I mean, if I just go rook d8 or something.
Yeah.
Just threaten d4. I don't know. I mean, it's just I'm sure this is much better for white still. I mean, that's not the point, but I'm just feeling very nervous about having just given black extra random tactical chances. Really,
she should have just left the king back on g1 and carried on with her own attack.
Zoe's black, so this Chris Finn is white.
Chris should have.
Yeah. So I mean, I thought rook b5 was very strong. I might be wrong, of course, completely, but because I could always play h4 g4. I mean, that's not a problem, So, but I just go. I want to go rook a5 there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm guessing that a6 is really strong here. I can probably take, check. Rook a7 here, there. I mean, I'm guessing I can do something incredible here. But what?
But what? Well, you could move your rook up.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm slightly amazed actually, but it's not actually as clear as you might think. Well, maybe. Rook b5 was what was the other idea I thought of? Rook b3. It's going to be quite similar though. h4, rook a3, a6, rook b7, queen a6, rook a7. I mean, this is really bizarre. This. I mean, how can this be true? How can we not just be mating here? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm just completely wrong. Maybe I'm just completely wrong here. I persist in saying there must be a way. Rook b7. I mean, yeah. I mean, I can always meet h4 with g4, of course. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. Oh, is Oscar finding it tough? No. Ooh, that hasn't gone well. G4. Ooh, G4. That's giving away your right, Walsman. That's oh, he's lost control of all the dark squares there, hasn't he? Oh, this is actually quite a tough position, this. Because black's going to play bishop e3 and knight e5. Ooh. That's a bit of a tough one. Bishop g2, maybe. I'll go. Ooh, dear. Yeah, this has got quite nasty. This is when you'd really like to have the advice of an engine who could tell you exactly what you need to do here. I could do something like this, I suppose. But I mean, there's all sorts of stuff like this, d3. You know, bishop d3. I've got rook f2. So I don't like this at all. Yeah, Walsman, this is looking quite. This is not looking easy at all. I think that this move rook f1 was actually quite good.
The advice of an engine. I'll just tell you something. The chess.com is assessing it as 0.00.
Oh, really? The this position?
Just on the chess.com, yeah.
Okay. Crumbs.
No, I mean the position that they've got to.
Yeah, yeah. Crumbs. Well, yeah, that's nice to know, but
really help. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Ooh. I'm not quite sure. I'm just not quite sure how you stand still. You know, even because it all looks very, very, very dangerous to me. We'll have to see what Oscar does, but this is looking good.
Oh,
so he won. So he won.
Wow.
Wow. What happened there? Rook f8. King e3. Oh, a bit of a misclick, I think. Queen d4.
Oh, it must have been a oh no, why would you go queen d4?
It would be a misclick, but why did you go queen d4?
I was thinking it might be an auto move, but even that, it doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah. I have to say queen h7 was quite sneaky. It was looking for d4 followed by queen e4. Maybe oh, I don't know. What did White intend there?
Don't know. Maybe he was just clicking around
and by accident played it. Yeah, I was going to play queen c2, he says, but yeah, d4 is still quite strong in this position. Yeah, no, that's true. Queen h7, what a move! Excellent move from Horsey Chess there. Well, we were a bit worried about the king, weren't we? So, oh dear. Yeah, I mean d4 check is very strong there.
Yeah, that's a nice move to line it up like that in advance.
Yeah, I mean maybe we could go king d2. Probably still go d4 there.
Yeah, because we're threatening. Oh, maybe we're not. We're not threatening rook f4.
No, but yeah, queen e4 is going to come in. It's going to be a tough one. This one, isn't it? Really. I mean, you've always got rook b7 things. That's the thing, you know. So you might be able to do something, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is it's obviously not good there. So yeah, excellent. Well played, Horsey Chess. Well played. Hard luck, Chris, and amazing. Let's have a look. We haven't looked at Wadsworth for a while.
Yeah, Karen. Wadsworth, yes.
Wadsworth, Ghasi. This is looking very even again now. So bishop c5. I think we'll play queen c7. I don't think Matthew Wadsworth will take the pawn on a7. He's yeah, this is just completely even now. So should be a draw. How's this one gone? Okay, black took on h6. Interesting. Interesting choice. I guess black's going to play bishop c6 now. Is this the idea? Maybe go knight g3 to e4. Looking a bit tricky. Maybe rook f8. Maybe rook f8. Looking at knight g3 to e4 in these sort of positions. Knight g3. Looking, we've got rook f8.
Knight g3, you might go rook f2.
Something like this, maybe. Just keep the pressure on.
Yeah.
A little bit unclear about these sort of positions. I mean, I could take off. Could even take off there or take here. Rook c2, rook f1. It's not trivial, but it all feels a bit better for white, doesn't it? Really, you know, it's because of all these weaknesses on the dark squares. But
on bishop c6, actually.
He went bishop c6, did he? Yeah, that's another possibility. It might just transpose. But I was sort of wondering, we could go, I suppose rook f1, you'll go rook f8, won't you? Let's have a look. How is that one looking? F1 looks obvious there, and then we go rook f8. And if we go knight g3, then actually rook f2. I mean, I could take on f8 there and take on f2. But that's probably going to be fine for black. Lots of weaknesses and a weak king as well, but yeah, not too sure about it. And of course, we've got this threat of rook g2, which is rather annoying. So you wouldn't really want to allow this. We'd have to play queen f8 here, but that's I'm not sure that this is what you want to do. So I could go knight g3, rook f2, knight e4. That's possible. With the idea of rook c2, I go rook f1. And this is obviously, you know, this looks quite powerful. Well, queen g7. Who knows, actually? Because this bishop's actually got to a hell of a square, hasn't it? I mean, it looks dangerous, but you just step out and then you're threatening mate on g2. So, yeah, I mean, actually, bishop c6 is a good move there. So could I maybe go knight, could I go queen e3, rook f8, knight g3, rook f2, rook e2? Could I do that one? Because that looks a bit tricky, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Rook e2, I go, yeah, I've got knight e2 or I've got queen e2. And you still haven't got your pawns back. So maybe after bishop c6, yeah, maybe queen e3 looks like the most accurate. And now black's got to find something. Might not be easy, actually. You're looking somewhat in control here.
Queen f6.
Okay, maybe knight g3. For rook f4, I could maybe even take on c5. Actually, it's not not impossible. Or even just try rook f1. You know, and just I think, yeah, I think queen e3 is a good move against that. I think that. I mean, I'm also lining up like this, of course. So, you know, knight g3 is actually going to hit e6 as well. So I think, yeah, I don't know. I think queen e3 is a good move. I think if white plays that, then white looks in control.
And Peter's starting to run into a bit of time trouble now.
Yeah, 3 minutes down there. Spent a very long time on these moves.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Oh, Matthew Wadsworth has. Oh, he's gone d takes c5. Ah, interesting. Trying to keep some unbalance there with the with a queenside majority. Very nice. I hadn't. I was sort of assuming it was all gonna end in a draw quickly, but this is actually a very nice idea. So yeah, I mean, I was just thinking, oh, bishop c5 and then a draw, but Matthew's gone here. D takes c5, b4. Now bishop e2, and actually, well, after takes,
yeah.
This could queen takes e2. I mean, well, at least you've got a queenside majority here to play with. So yeah, that's good. Keeping life in the position. Twills against Fisher fan. Well, white's got the two bishops, and these dark squares are a little weak, but there is quite a bit of activity here. So I certainly don't think that black should be worse in this position. So looks to be doing quite well. Oh, UK chess bomber.
Yeah.
Not much time, but definitely attacking, of course.
Have a look
D6,
at, oh, sorry. Have a look at Tom Villiers when you get a chance. E forever.
Oh, wow. Okay. Bishop D3. Oh, but I think this is this must be going rather wrong. I quite fancy a move like Queen H6 here. And Queen E1 looks like more or less the only move.
Looking difficult for white, isn't it?
Looking very difficult for white. And then, well, there must be all sorts here. I mean, Knight H5 is quite tempting, you know, just threatening threatening something like Knight G3, for example. I mean, Knight G3, Queen G3, Bishop F4 simply. And you can't do anything about this. So I think Queen H6, Queen E1, Knight H5. I think white is virtually lost. I think. I can't imagine that you're really going to survive this. Maybe try Bishop H4. Amazing, but
oh, the mouse slip. It was a Crispin's. It was a mouse slip.
Yeah, I thought you were much better as well. I was worried about this plan of going G4 and King F2 to E3. I thought Rook B5 was going to be quite decent for you, but it was I couldn't make it mate actually. So it was a little bit strange, that position. It looked so good for white, but I couldn't. I certainly wasn't clever enough to make anything concrete of it. So yeah. Tom Villiers, 23 minutes left, so he's got plenty of time. I think Queen H6. Yeah, I think Queen E1. I mean, Queen E1, Knight H5 looks really strong. I mean, there's loads of ways to win the queen actually, but I'm just a little bit. I want more than that really. As we said a few times, in the immortal words of Julian Hodgson, I want jam on it.
Yeah.
Actually, come to think of it, Queen F7 is quite strong. Because after Queen E1, I've got... yeah, Queen F7 is quite strong here, because after Queen here, I've got Knight takes G2, funnily enough. Which is also very good. That is quite strong as well. I would think that Queen H6 though is the most Knight H5, something like that.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure this is going to be the strongest. But yeah, looking very good for Tom anyway.
Confused between, you know, sometimes when you have all these different good plans and you get confused as to which one you want to do.
Exactly. Mark in trouble, Walsman said. Yeah, this is not nice, is it? This is definitely more pleasant for white. What is Mark going to do, actually? I mean, moves like this look horrifically risky, but everything else looks like it's going to lose a pawn, simply. You know, A4 loses a pawn here. So I'm not really sure.
Might as well take.
You could try and sacrifice a piece, you know, and just get this pawn after, but I mean, with two bishops and all that, it's well, not so stupid, but you could easily be just getting mated afterwards. And yeah, Knight A3. I mean, question is, it's never very clear. You might even just be losing your losing that knight ignominiously, really. So maybe not. Maybe we can Rook C6. Let's have a look at that one. Knight takes A3, Rook C6. I mean, Queen A5. There's Bishop C7 at the very least.
Yeah.
So we've we've got to go back to B7.
Yeah.
So let me grab a tempo like that. Maybe go back to A6. I don't know. I mean, we can play moves like Bishop G5 and then get him Bishop D5 afterwards.
It's really nice for white, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, no, this is This is not looking good for Mark. I mean, he's a very good defender. He's seen it all, and he's certainly not going to give up easily there. But this is a difficult position. But he's a lot ahead on time. So and this is something he's always done well throughout his career. I mean, I wonder actually. I'm just thinking whether Knight B2 could be more interesting. Or is that completely crazy? Queen D2. I think it's probably just stupid, isn't it? Queen D2. Queen A3. I've even just got Rook C2 there, I think, and we're going to pick that up. So, no, I mean, yeah, I think Knight A3. You just play Knight A3, and you just try and survive. I think roll with the punches and see what happens. But looking in a bit of trouble there. So, Ameet. Queen E5, threatening Queen A1. Yeah, if I can get a bit organised, probably needs to keep the queens on as well. Then might be able to make something of this queenside majority here. But this is a good move from Ameet. Threatening Queen A1, and we've also got stuff like D4 or Queen E4 and D4. So getting the queen active, that's a very good move. Oh, so Chris has. What happened? Knight G3. Rook E2 straight away was played. Okay, yeah, that's quite similar to what we were looking at. Rook D8, Queen G5, very good move, hitting both. So Rook takes D6, Queen C5, Rook D5, Queen E3. So yeah, Fernandez looks to be a pawn up against Peter Finn. Some very creative play from Black, but just fell short. Yeah, looks like White looking good for the win at the moment, and with a lot more time as well. But well, we'll see how that one turns out. Twills still should be fine for Black, I think. UK Chess Bomber is going to put something on D8, I think.
Oh yes, there it is.
So I'm afraid, yeah, Tashika's going to lose that one, I'm afraid.
How about
just
pieces? Queen and pawns.
Queen and pawns. I don't have him there again, do I? So let's have a look.
He was playing Poisonous Mushroom, I think.
Poisonous Mushroom.
Yes. I can't remember which way around he was white.
Poisonous Mushroom. Was it Poisonous Mushrooms? Who knows?
I don't think so. I thought it was just one.
I'm not getting a game.
Underscore mushroom.
Ah, okay. I'm not getting anything.
They're done.
For him, so
not up on the results yet, but it could be they've just finished.
Okay, I think say 3. Oh, Tom did another way. He went Queen H5 and Knight takes G2. Queen H5 and Knight takes G2. Oh, brilliant! That's even nicer, isn't it? King takes. He's going Bishop D5.
Oh yes.
Oh, that's very nicely spotted. Really nice spot from Tom. It's very elegant way of finishing things off there. Very, very nice. So, and yeah, it's just a bit better to have the queen on H5 and F7, which is what I was looking at. So, very nice. Let's have a look. Idle player, C5. My goodness, but isn't D3 happening now?
Wow, look at this game. Yeah.
Oh, this looks. I think this is going to be losing. I think. I think d3 just looks really strong for black. I mean, you can easily just start going all the way, you know. So yeah. Oh, good lord, that's going to be really hard luck, because after such a shot as knight g5, which we tweeted as well, you know, look what Oscar Idle found. Yeah, it's all going to turn around maybe. How's Sean the Prawn doing?
Hi, Raylin. How are you doing?
Hi, hello. How are things? Sean the Prawn is doing quite well, actually, isn't he? He's declined a draw, and he's right, I think, because you can keep the rook out of play, and the knight's coming around to d6, which is going to be a gorgeous blockade. So he's going to have a knight blockade actually against knight blockade. So yeah, no, that's looking pretty good. Chelsea Kings, Jem Gurner against Declan Shafi.
Okay.
This is a tough little game. Who's better and why? Well, White's probably a little bit better. Minor pieces are slightly better than these two, but the pawn on a4 is weak. There's maybe even a square on b4 for the black knight. You'd love to get your kingside pawns rolling, but yeah, it's going to be quite hard to do. In general, I think it's probably balanced. In actual fact, it's probably nothing too amazing happening there. But well, we're going to wait until the time trouble. Queen b5 from Matthew.
Did you qualify, Raylin?
Now, this was actually an interesting moment. This. Oh, finished your Blitz qualifier. Not doing great with your games in the Women's Championship, but did you qualify for the Blitz?
Because we're following some Blitz, aren't we? We're following the finals of the Blitz, I think.
Yeah.
Weekend.
Yeah, that's right. For the weekend, we're going to follow it all. So this was a very interesting moment, actually. After Matthew Wadsworth went Queen b5, and Ameet went Queen e4. So he didn't take the bishop with Queen a1, Queen a3. I imagine. Well, I imagine actually that this was going to be quite a few pawns. King somewhere, Queen b7. Yeah. Probably very, very dangerous for black. So I think Ameet is going with Queen e4. He's looking to give some sort of perpetual against the white king. They've made this quite interesting, but I think a move like this is probably going to be enough to hold the draw.
On the e6, I suppose.
It's also defending e6 as well. Yes, it's doing the whole business. I mean, maybe White's going to play h4. It's possible, just to give himself a square on h2. But we might be able to just check, go Queen c2 at some stage.
Oh,
f8.
Ending to my game on board 10. Yes, yeah.
We showed it. Oh, Queen d5. Gold coins, hack attack. Well done. Ah, God, look at that. I was saying Bishop d5.
Oh, very good.
Oh, very, very good. Wait a minute. We have to. This has got to be tweeted. It's this is too brilliant for words. Hack attack comes through. We needed you, hack attack, because I've been going on about the game Harry Grieve against Tom O'Gorman, and this was going to be a right battle, and it turned out to be just a very correct draw. So we needed you. Tom Villiers. Look at that. I mean, that's just amazing, that is. Absolutely amazing, Tom Villiers. Finishes in style.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. That's the Caplin. Spell British Chess Championships right one time in one go. That'll be amazing. There we are. Yeah, let's go for it. Gold coins on the board. That's got to be fantastic. Brilliant. Wow, well done, Hack Attack. Excellent. I wish I'd seen that, actually. Crumbs. Jealous now. Let's have a look. Diamond Naught. 2 minutes left on the clock. But, oh, God, a knight d6. Was that really the... isn't black just... Ooh. Oh, Mark, this is really tricky. So I guess, was the idea to go rook c8 here? There's really, I mean, there's really so much good for white here. I mean, I guess it has to be rook c8. I mean, I can even just go and play a move like a4, to be honest, and I'm just not sure what you're going to be doing. Bishop g5, also very unpleasant. Obviously, rook c6 is possible, but we're probably going to try and defend with queen a3. Queen f3. Well, I mean, knight f5 could be coming in, so there might be some possibilities that way. But very, very difficult position for Mark. So rook c8, rook takes c8. Yeah, it looks like Diamond Naught's actually just going to play it very sensibly, which I think is probably the worst thing that you could have, really, as a black player. I know, is knight c8 conceivable?
He's done it.
Conceivable, maybe. I'm sort of thinking of something like queen f3 now. That's the one that's worrying me, you know, just with threats of bishop takes f7 and bishop somewhere. That's sort of concerning me rather.
We've got to get this queen back into play, don't we? The black queen. Could you go...
I mean, you can get stuff like queen f6. I go bishop e5 then, for example, and just swap off the queens and just, you know, just in terms of...
Daniel Fernandez has won, by the way.
He's won, has he? Okay. Very interesting game there. Well played, both players. That was a very creative game from Peter there. And somehow, yeah, Daniel found his way through all the complications. So very interesting game. Queen e8, d4, queen e4 check. So I reckon, are we going to get a draw by perpetual here? It's odds on, I have to say. If that bishop could be transported over here, we'd be doing great. But I suppose queen e2 here, and it's going to be a draw, I think. Nice game though, really nice game from both players. It was a bit of a dull opening really, but they tried their very best to make something of it. This one is still pretty equal, I think. Nothing too amazing going on. Although I suppose you've got to watch out a little bit. White's going to try and go knight e3 to f5 check, and then a queen g5 check afterwards. So that's a little bit sneaky. But that should be all right for black. Black should be able to deal with that somehow. Bishop c8 is a super safe way of doing it. And there's maybe another way of doing it as well. Let's have a look. Oscar Idol. Yeah, d2 simply. Oh, it was such a good position. Such a shame there. But well played black, though. I mean, black spotted that he could give up the queen and get some counterplay. And I think at that moment, white needed to be precise. And just that moment, yeah, I think Oscar played just a few less precise moves. And yeah, somehow it just went horribly wrong afterwards. Oh dear. That's well, Sean the Prawn doing nicely. Probably king d7 here would be the best move. Just stop the rook coming into c6, I think. Now, you could also take. No, I think you go king d7 here. Just if rook d5 will work something out somehow. Okay, g4. So I guess maybe put the queen on f7, something like that. It's quite not quite sure about this knight g4. Wondering a little bit what white's planning to do there. If you just go queen f7 here, yeah. Knight b4 coming in. Yeah, as always, you're never quite sure whether this is a good square for the knight, but I think knight b4 you can combine with bishop f5. So I think that's probably going to be quite a good move, actually. Twills, how much time we got? Still, a lot of games are finished actually, but yeah, queen f3 was played by Diamondaut, which is an excellent move, I think. Really giving black very big problems there. I mean, the white king is completely safe here. We've got rook c7 coming in, and we've got bishop f7 and bishop c7, bishop g5 ideas coming in. So it's really the it's the whole thing really for white there.
So Hamilton drew.
Yeah. Okay. So indeed, Matthew Wadsworth and Ameet Ghasi drew. So they weren't able to profit from Michael's draw. So I think Michael will still be a point ahead of the field. Oh, is that true? No, actually, wait a minute. Matthew Turner's on 5, actually, isn't he? Because he beat Tristan earlier on. So Michael's on 5.5, but Matthew Turner's on 5.
It's okay.
So yeah, still in touch.
Yeah. So I can see that at least three games still going on. Diamondaut.
Yeah, we've got 5 actually, I think. So Twills against Fisher Fan, Diamondaut against Mark Hebden, Idle Player against Gunslinger, Night Blockade against Sean the Prawn, and Chelsea Kings against a very long row of numbers. Okay, this was Knight takes c4 and King d5. This was, yeah, this is pretty good too. So Sean the Prawn, yeah, gradually working his way to to victory, looks like. So taking this pawn is quite a good idea, I think. And we can take this one, and we can also come to the back with bishop e1 and capture this pawn. So should be fine. Always a little bit nerve-wracking, but I think that should work out fine. Actually, although am I lying here? Rook g7. Let's have a look.
Yeah, John, I agree. Yes, it is hard to see the names of the players. This, yeah, is from chess.com. We've got...
I wonder, can I make... I can have a look, see whether I can make it bigger.
Yeah.
Can I make... Or somebody knows whether we can...
Hello, how are you? Thank you for logging into our stream. It's a message via Facebook from John Levitt.
Ah. Yeah, I will have a look. I'll try and work out whether how to do this. It is indeed hard to see the names on the screen. Yeah, I will have a look to see whether we can make that bigger or not. But good to see you, John.
Yes, hope you're keeping well. And hopefully see you a bit later in the week at the Blitz or the Rapid. Does it appeal to you? Yeah, I don't know if you play so much chess anymore.
So bishop e1, we could go g4 here, takes h5. That's a little bit more tricky than you'd really want. Although I suppose I could just go g3, h6, and knight g5, couldn't I? That might actually be working.
Take it.
Take here. I take. And g2. Maybe it's always you never get away from calculating a little bit somehow. Knight check. Black took on a5. Rook g7. This is maybe even simpler. We are going to end up giving up a piece for a pawn here, but yeah, then at the end, I think it should all turn out right. Bishop e1 is quite a decent move there. looking back to see what's happening. Queen d3, queen e3. I mean, white, yeah, somehow white has ended up just a little bit better here, mainly due to this weak d6 pawn. But I think you should try and keep the queens on if you possibly can, because at least then you can get some counterplay there. I think if you take on e3, knight e3, and the knight comes into c4, yeah, I think this is a decent move. Probably come back to d3 there and just. This might end up in a repetition. In actual fact, the players seem to be. So what has happened here? Bishop takes f7 happened. King h8.
Yeah.
Queen c6 was played. Black was threatening. White was threatening queen c8. Bishop takes d4. This is looking obviously incredibly risky for black, but this is often it's often the way you've got to do it. Simply, you've simply got to up the risks and just try and make the opponent make a mistake. Queen c7 looked quite strong, but actually I think black can play queen e7 against that. So queen e7, and we're stopping this threat of bishop e5.
Yeah.
So we're not there yet.
Tier 5. Can we get to tier 5 before the end of the year? Or maybe tier
Queen e6 maybe is quite a strong move here. I'm threatening rook c8, and I'm also threatening bishop e5, or if you're Tom Villiers, queen e5.
Yes, that's what you have to play.
That's what the hack attack would play. Let's have a look. So he's gone bishop e3. That's also
He was definitely thinking of the stream, wasn't he, when he played his queen?
Absolutely, yeah. So okay, so bishop e3. Is that the move? Well, we're threatening bishop d4, so it is definitely a serious move. Bishop b2. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Mark's trying to get this bishop out of the way so that white can't attack it with tempo.
Yeah. You don't have to move the rook, I suppose.
You don't know. That's the that is the unpleasant point. But he's going to try and bring his queen back to e7. So
bishop g5.
Bishop g5. That, Natasha, is probably a very good move indeed.
Idea queen f6.
That might, of course. Yeah, that could actually be decisive, couldn't it? He's played it.
Excellent.
Now, Diamondaut, we're going to see whether you have the spirit of Regan and Villiers in you. Are you going to play Queen f6 check? That is the key. That is the key thing. Yeah, this is very, very awkward indeed. I'm trying to find a move that keeps black going for a while, but I'm not succeeding very easily, I have to say. Everything I see just loses the exchange straight away. I'm afraid this might be curtains. Because I mean, if you go something like Queen d6 or something, I can even just take here.
And take on c8.
Yeah, if you take with a rook, I mean, you go Queen d6, I take. You take with a knight, I take on here. Bishop c1, there's bishop f6, so knight here, and I go rook c8, and I mean, this is just a clear win, of course. So very tough. So I don't really know. I'm trying to think of another idea that
Oscar fighting back. Let's see it.
Oscar fighting back. Wow. Oh, good Lord. Confusion. Going for an h5, h6. Wow. Let's have a look. How about bishop f2 here? Oh, we've got queen c7 then. Whoops, sorry. I wanted to play knight f3, but and then bishop f2, rook g3, mate. But we're not going to be able to do that, are we? Knight to g4, knight to f2. Not 100% easy. Rook g4 is also possible. I think I'm wondering about rook c1 to go rook c2, but I suppose I can go bishop b3 and just survive to. I mean, it's there's no immediate mate there, so interesting. I think maybe rook g4 is a reasonably simple way to play. I don't know whether maybe go king h3. Might go rook c4. Bishop b3, rook d4, threatening rook d3, but it's not all not completely clear. What's happened there? Oh, well, black played d1. Okay, took the piece, but there's a few threats there now. Going to get h5 in. So I mean, I would have thought probably something like rook f1, h5. Maybe we go rook f7 or something like that. And just if we go rook f7 afterwards, and then we're going to try and go bishop e3 takes g5 and just gradually work our way, through again. If this works, then it's quite a good, it's just a good way to a solid way to do it. Just rook f7 now, and then we're going to go bishop e3 and try and take that pawn on g5. It might just be just too difficult for white to hold it, but a good attempt there. Oh, what's happened there? Mark went 96. Bishop d8, king g7. Bishop d5. Oh, okay, queen d7, king h6. And I guess that we're going to look at bishop f6 here now, with sort of multiple mate threats here. And if you go oh, queen h3. Oh, maybe he's going to gain a tempo, going to gain some tempi with that, maybe. Queen d7. Okay, that's a good technique. King h6. Bishop g8. Okay, threatening mate on h7. That's even quicker. How are we going to stop this? Very difficult. We've got double mate threat of queen h7 and queen h3. So I don't think we're going to stop this. Yeah. Oh dear, Hebs.
He's having a rough time, this Hebs.
Yeah. So h5. Black thinking about it now. I think rook f7. Oh, rook f4.
We get me the other way around. We get me on h3 then, don't we?
That's right. Yeah. Rook f4 here. Again, still looking difficult for Oscar, though he's putting up a great fight here. Oh well, Sean the Pawn has done a great job here. Well, has he done a great job? Wait a minute. Rook h8. What's happening there? h8 now. A1 queen. Rook d8 check. King. Yeah, we want to go king e6, I think. We want to go h8 queen c1 mate. I mean, that's what we want to do, right? But I mean, what I'm just thinking here actually is he could have gone. Sean could have played bishop g. But then king f5. So that's why he was worried. But actually, this actually got really complicated. This one. So a1 queen, rook d8. So king e6 to play queen c1 mate. So white goes rook e8 check.
Yeah.
And where are you going to go? If I go king f7, then we go h8 queen. And we're protected. This rook is protected by the queen. So is there something amazing here? I don't think so. I think the king's safe.
Oh, wait. Queen f1 in that last position. Where you got to? Queen f1.
Oh, wait a minute. Here.
Is it here? Queen f1.
F1. King g5.
That's a shame. I was hoping you'd go the other way. Then I'd walk you.
Indeed. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a bit worried all of a sudden. I thought this was just a very smooth performance from Sean the Prawn, but it's looking quite chaotic now.
All right. So what now? What if we go knight check instead of queening?
Well, for example, if I go king there or king there, maybe
King there. Knight takes pawn. I'm making it up a bit, and queen now.
Yeah, I mean, you might make a draw. I mean, but you were kind of trying for a win. You know, I mean, Sean was doing really well before, so I was sort of trying to find a win really, but I think that stage has passed. Because you can play knight e2 check here as well, you know, and that's also possible. But yeah, no, it's unfortunately it looks like Sean played it very well for a long time, and but he just not going to get the point there. He needs to make sure that he, of course, that he just manages to secure the draw as well.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking for checks. But I don't see them. So wow, dramatic stuff. Sean thinking here about wondering whether to play knight e2 or whether to play a1 queen. How's this one going? Oh, well, White's managed to get himself nicely organized here. Jem Gurner against Declan Shafi. So White definitely for choice here. You're wanting to, if you can get your pawn up to f5, then you've really got a good chance, because that f6 break is quite nasty. So yeah, good stuff there. We've just got 3 games going, haven't we? We've got Twills and Fisher Fan have drawn by repetition. Idle Player Gunslinger. This is looking.
Idle players.
Just for a moment, it looked like Oscar was going to make it, but this is looking very difficult again now.
Yeah.
Sean has given the check, and yeah, these players are fighting it out. It's going to be a tough little one. Oh, I think you can go f5 now, actually. So I think that would be worth it, because Queen f5 allows Rook f3. So I think that would be definitely worth it. Yeah, Black has played Knight f3 here, so Rook h2 happening, and yeah, you're not going to have enough checks to. I think the Black King's just going to come down here, basically. So Queen e7 will go King f4 maybe. And then Queen f6 check, we go King g3, and we're safe, and we're delivering mate. Sean the Prawn. Alex Goss got quite a bit of time left there. So, yeah, just interesting thing is, I suppose you could play King e3, a1.
Yeah.
Rook check, King... Not quite sure where. Let's say e6. Now, h8, I'm vaguely saying you might want to give a rook check first of all. The reason I was looking at it was takes.
If h8, couldn't you, just take that and then take on g3?
Yeah, I mean, rook h3. I was wondering about these sort of lines. Now here I've got King e5, which is the the trick here, f4. But what I can maybe do. Is after King e6, I give a rook check, and then if you went back to f7, then I go h8 queen, takes, and if you go knight g3, I go rook h3. If you go knight f1, I go King e2. You know, your knight is trapped, so you might have to go f4, and then I'm going to take.
Both.
Takes, and I don't think your knight's going to
well. Okay.
Yeah, so I think what you need to do, probably after rook d8 check, king e6, rook e8, is you need to go to d5. And then after h8 queen, I will take off, and go knight g3.
Yeah.
And now if we go rook h8 3, I've got this king e5.
Yeah.
So I reckon that's probably the key point really for black. I'm just wondering whether what we're looking at, knight e2. I don't know whether it makes a difference if I go to g5. Probably not, I don't think. I mean, you're going to find it much harder to trap my knight if your king's all the way on g5 there. So that should be absolutely fine.
Against idle player.
Let's have a look. Oh, okay. Oh, hard luck, Oscar. That's well fought. He's a very good player, but hard luck. Chelsea Kings. Oh, played f5. Yeah, this is looking rather dangerous now for Declan Chaplin. He's got very little time as well. So, I mean, there might be some tricks with a knight d3 somewhere if white takes somewhere on d6. But this allows knight f6 now. So this is completely gone. This is completely gone. So Declan Chaplin looked very good in the qualifications, but
got prepared against the wrong opponent.
Oh no!
Oh dear.
Oh, knight d6 he went. That is probably also still very strong, but yeah, knight f6 was much clearer. Yeah, hard luck, Oscar. That was a great effort, but yeah, just didn't quite work out there. I thought I think he went g4. I thought that rook f1 in that position was quite strong for white. Actually, I thought then you were going to be able to get control, but so how's this one going? Is the no? You're going to be all right. You can take on h8. You can go and then afterwards you can. Take on h8, take on g3. Oh no, yeah, king f2 immediately there's f4, thank goodness. And rook h3.
Yeah.
We are going to go f4, king f4, knight e2, king there, and knight c3. And we will survive. Actually, I suppose, yeah, knight c3 is fine. Knight c1 is also fine. So it's a little bit fraught, but yes, should all work fine. Queen e4 looks like it's going to finish off the game for Jem Gurner, because this threat of f6 is very, very big indeed. Tough game, that one. So well played, Jem. That's really yeah. The idea was rook f1, and if he goes bishop g3, I've got queen d3 forking the pawn on g6 and the bishop on g3. And yeah, I just thought there was just a way you could sort of get control. Then you play b4 at some stage and stop the knight getting into c5. So I thought rook f1, rook f8 takes on f7, rook takes f7, queen d3, and then b4 afterwards. And I was sure that the black was going to survive there. The white was going to have control there, but it was tough. It wasn't easy, I think, to do that. f6, and that should be the end of it. g6, queen e7, checkmate. And Declan Chaffee has lost on time there, but yeah, white was winning anyway, of course. So well done there. And there's just one game left. Oh, good lord!
What's happened? Oh,
he's given away the knight. He's given away the knight, and he's going for a perpetual.
Okay.
And I think he might get it.
Yeah.
That was a very good, sensible way of doing things. Or queen f3. I guess he's getting the perpetual. It's just Pieces are a little bit awkwardly placed, but that must be perpetual, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that must be perpetual. It can't be anything else.
How would you get out?
Well, I mean, if you start coming over to C1 and B2, just wondering a little bit. But oh, repetition. Okay, well that's great. I just take a quick look. I imagine it probably is. But if I go King D2 here. Queen, how are you doing this? Queen F2.
Yeah.
It's just I start bringing my rooks back. You know, that's the thing. I start doing stuff like this, and I can bring my queen back to B2 as well. So I'm slightly wondering, but I'm not 100% sure. But
well, maybe
we'll be. I think both players relieved.
Just now looked at the position on chess.com, and that.
Oh yeah,
+9 for white.
Oh yeah, then it isn't perpetual. Okay. But yes, I was wondering about it, but okay, that's all good. Well done, Sean the Prawn. Hard luck. Played very well all the way through and deserved a win. But yeah. Oh dear me. When are we back tomorrow, Natasha?
I made a little bit of a mistake yesterday and got the sessions the wrong around, but tomorrow we really are back for the women's event, the last round of the women's. So let's take a quick look at that. We have tomorrow we will have Lara Putar on one against Ketty. Now Ketty actually has already won the event. Grandmaster Ketivan Arakamia Grant has 6 points out of 6. So she is going to probably try and win and try for 7 out of 7. On board 2, we have Nina Pert taking on Dagny Siaksiti. And on board 3, Tashika Aurora against Trisha Kanyamarala. Board 4, we have WFM Olivia Smith against WFM Maria Emilia Nova. And board 5, Alice Lampard against Zoe Varney. Then we've got Julie O against Imogen Dyson. Hannah Lowry O'Reilly against Ray Lynn. We've got May Caterpillar against Aya, and then Georgia Headlong, Kate Walker, and Florence Wilson, Suzanne Barry. So it's looking like a good day there at the women's event. And
that's the final round, isn't it?
So Dagny's half a point clear to get second place. So she's on 4.5. We've got 3 players on 4, which is Lara, Nina, and Tashika, all young players, I think. And Trisha, Maria, and Olivia and Zoe, on 3.5. So it's pretty tight to take the second and third spots there in the women's. But congratulations already to Ketty.
Yeah, it's the last round tomorrow, isn't it? That's
final round. Yeah, they've got 7 rounds in the women's, and the Open we've got 9 rounds tomorrow. In the Open, so we're streaming twice, once for the women's and once for the Open.
So once at 1 o'clock and once at 7
at 1 o'clock. Open at 7 o'clock, and you're probably all aware in the lead of the Open is Michael Adams, half a point clear from Matthew Turner. So Mickey's got 5.5, Matthew's got 5. And we do have some players on 4.5. We've got Ameet on 4.5. We also have Daniel Fernandez on 4.5. And I think that's it, actually.
Yeah, it's probably Mickey's probably going to play against Daniel Fernandez, I think. And Ameet's going to play against Matthew, because I don't think they've played yet. So, yeah, little matchups there tomorrow.
Yes. Okay,
so
great.
Thanks very much indeed for watching. Thanks for all your comments. Well played, Hack Attack. And great stuff.
Tomorrow.
And yeah, we'll be expecting another Queen Sacrifice tomorrow. Hack Attack.
Seriously, you can play how you like. If you want to do it more sure you can, but we prefer it when you do your Hack Attacks.
Thanks very much indeed.
Yeah, thanks all for watching.